Okay, nice. Did take a little bit, couple seconds to start streaming after I pressed start streaming, and it didn't capture the help point thing still being there on the screen with the exclamation point vote thing, because it doesn't apply to Doom. Right. Let us go at everyone. Okay, that thing just stopped sounding. Maybe it's a loop point in the track. Anyway. What is my bitrate currently? It's the proper amount. Okay, hopefully it won't do the thing today where it starts doing frames and I have to lower it. Okay, so a little prelude. I asked for permission to tag this as viewer levels, but actually Zolge didn't get back to me on that, so I don't know if he's around right now. He might not visit, but we've played Djinn.wad previously by him, and this is actually the WOD that I saw mentioned in the Cock Awards, somewhere in my like honorable mentions, and I was like, oh yeah, I was gonna play Djinn at some point, and that's what led me to contact him to get Djinn to play Djinn, and now we're playing this. So there's a whole text file full of information that comes with this, but it includes more poetry, which I probably won't get, and it also includes maps and episodes commentary, which is literally what it says in the text file. I don't know at what point it would be good to read any of this. Maybe as we go, map by map. I guess to start with, while I'm here just waiting for a bit, so the file, should I just, you know what, maybe I should just try to see display capture above the Doom, move this thing here, there we go, it should be mildly visible. Beyond the abyss, a whispering hiss, again I was drowning in the vortex divine, again my torch ceased to shine, so dark her temple started to crumble, barely I survived the second tunnel. Okay, I knocked at her door and I was opened inside, my precious goddess of being an hero, never will pain leave me and end, once I'll be able to comprehend. I don't know if I possess the mental capabilities to try to wrap my head around the hidden meaning of poetry like this. I usually like straightforward things, you know. So since this is a sequel, it even mentions here Snail is in limbo. Snail is our main character, and limbo is where Djinn ended. I remember how Djinn ended, more or less. I didn't know what the hell was happening in Djinn the whole way through, and I probably won't know what's happening during this. So episode 1, Metempsychosis, is the post-mortem trip. Once had the band named that. After the death of our friend by suicide, we decided to... Oh shit, I said the word, please don't ban me. I don't know if it's a bannable word. We decided to dedicate our music to his voyage, so that we could in a way help him to find his inner peace. Snail is not connected to this person, but Snail is a representation of doubt, of dualism, and... thus of psychosis and schizophrenia. When he left the world in Djinn, he couldn't erase his double personality. Left hand and right hand were still lurking into his mind. Now, and just now, he starts to realize the importance of being one with himself. Interesting. So this immediately tells us a bit more than we knew in Djinn. I wonder what actually, when he left the world, what does that mean? Did he die, or did he just actually, like, physically, metaphysically just go somewhere? Because there are probably hints, and I was probably even directly told, but I don't remember, actually. And I don't think I'm going to read the rest, because it's level by level, and we'll see if anything comes up. Okay. So yeah, we've got 5 episodes. Death, Slumber, Tohuwabohu, The Moon, the Tree, and this thing. So I wonder if it's all connected to that whole thing, whatchamacallit. Because last time Zolgit was telling us that a lot of the concepts and imagery and metaphors and stuff were from something. Geez. Well, if you're really curious, go watch that. At some point he mentioned it. It was probably during one of the intermission messages that I read, and then I asked him to explain. Titan through Creek something? I don't know. It's one of those things that I actually forget even exists, and I was never interested in whatever it is. So they completely all flew over my head. But we're here to play. I don't know if it's gonna be a mistake. I'm gonna put my I wonder if I should put free lock on. By default I'm not gonna. So I did actually make everything. Yeah, I kinda remember this. I remember killing this. Yeah, I remember this room. I remember killing this BFG Archvile, I know. The HUD is even more hard to understand, but still I should be, we should be fine. The rockets. No rupees to start. Well, yeah. So I put this on hardware rendering, but I guess still with unfiltered textures. But in case there's lights and stuff, I put the bloom, I put the screen space ambient occlusion. I did not enable tone map to palette, just in case. You never know what colors they're gonna be. But see, remember this crazy level? Yeah. That looks about right. And if I remember right, Zolga said before that this is actually barely gonna. Yeah, wow, this is continuity, man. I killed these chain gunners in the last VOD. I don't remember this shotgunner, but I'll take your word for it. That it was there. I think the sky was different. But yeah, we run around there like crazy, getting attacked by cyber demons and like tons of other enemies. But I think Zolga said that in this world there's gonna be very few custom enemies, only a couple, maybe some Cacodemon variants, I think he said. Okay. Got some sounds for picking stuff up. I guess enemies are just gonna be... Oh, hi. Well, shit. Probably gonna be just like reskinned. Well, this is an interesting situation that I'm in. Oh, I can I could almost escape. Okay. Okay, sure. If you're gonna start me off with an archwell like that. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna press that switch later. That's an interesting situation to be in. That's for certain. I did not actually catch. I guess it opened both of these doors. I'm gonna just escape outside immediately. I forget where he appeared, but I think amongst the imps. So I'm just gonna escape outside. Yeah, it is a bit different. And apparently in this timeline, Snail killed everyone pretty much as soon as they just spawned. Okay, there's a now hanging cyber demon. We can get some rockets. Oh yes, now they are starting to teleport in. The archvile is coming. Good, the rockets definitely helped. Because I did not want to fight him with a shotgun. Okay, these corpses are making it really hard to see where there's the edge of the cliff there. Nah. I don't think there's a reason for me to go along this ledge, so whatever. I didn't give him any time to revive any imps, so that's nice. I like these imp sprites, they're pretty cool looking. Kinda cooler looking than default imps, while still looking appropriate even for like regular Doom, but this is, in a custom mod especially like this, anything goes. Really, well, I don't mean in any custom mod any sprite will fit, but in a one with a setting like this, honestly any type of monster should look not out of place. Okay, I killed someone and now I'm dead. Forever, I think. Maybe not, okay. I guess I just ran out of there like an idiot. When I shouldn't have. Kinda made me think for a second that I was in like in... Okay, sure, fine. Like in Quake. You know what? I should start quick saving. I thought for a second it was like in Quake where teleporters like throw you out with momentum, but maybe not. Anyway, I don't know how much I wanna quick save, but this might be a harder mod than Djinn, and kind of like the harder side for me. I don't know. I think I remember Zolga mentioning something that about its potential increased difficulty, and also I don't remember, but there was some specific detail that I praised about Djinn, and he was like, well, that's gone in Happy. I think it was maybe some to do with just like how it's done overall. Oh shit, don't rest. Maybe level design, maybe encounter design or something, that I was like, you know what, I kinda like this. And he was like, well, I quote-unquote improved by Happy, so now it's no longer like that, whatever that was. So we might find something, you know, little indescribable just missing from this. Okay, I don't have to move whatsoever. Okay, the zombies are also reskinned, that's cool. I think he has a special palette. I don't know if he is like up contrasted or anything, but he looked... And maybe it's just because of the hardware render, honestly. I rarely play in it. Okay, this environment looks way more advanced. Though I might have been slightly thrown off balance by some of the previous viewer levels that I played between these two. But, so I don't remember exactly how cool Djinn looked, or didn't. But this looks like it's definitely... Seems like it will be more advanced than Djinn. Visually and, you know, layout-wise, we'll see. Okay, I'm just banking on no one has spawning behind me. Hopefully that's the case. New death animation. And yellow art. I'm gonna shoot the yellow art just in case. Okay, nothing happened. And it's time to start saving. Actually, I'm gonna quick save. Oh, that's the same place. See, the thumbnail of the save is the same place as we started, but from Djinn. It's only appropriate that I start saving in that slot, I think. There we go. Jesus Christ. Oi, that guy looks serious business. But he is not active, and those guys are not active. I don't have rockets, but fine. Oh, this could be stronger. I think I went into something there that I was not supposed to be in. Because I feel like I saw a hall of mirrors for a sec. I might be mistaken. More yellow art. I don't know, maybe I just thought it was a hall of mirrors, but it isn't. So also this lied, wow, that's... Didn't it in the save, I guess the save's gone now. But wasn't it called Where Dead Demons Lie? And so now in the sequel, when every demon here is dead, it's in past tense. That's pretty cool. Okay, yeah, oh. Now it's time to go on the other direction. I am tempted to just, you know, because it's interesting, I'm tempted to go read about difficulty easy length, short plane of existence, astral limbo, last layer. Okay, there's not much commentary about this particular what? Okay, this particular level. But also it kind of insists that this is not like happening in your head psychological type deal, as I thought it was gonna be in the first VOD in Djinn. But it might be literally an actual, like, intended to be spiritual journey of our character, Snail. So that's quite interesting. I find that it's not really done anymore as much. Every story these days is like meta, and I myself, if ever I'm thinking of a story with like a horror theme or psychological or supernatural, it's always some weird meta shit that I come to in the end. Where none of it was really, you know how like in horror movies used to be straightforward, or like Japanese one about curse or a ghost. And nowadays, or like more modern horror movies are, oh, but this is actually a metaphor for STDs, or oh, this is actually a metaphor for toxic relationships. And that sort of stuff is fine once or twice, but in an era when everyone's doing it, I don't know, it loses its color, kind of. Oh, and I'm back here, okay. But I think that I pressed the third switch somewhere in there, and so we should be able to get the yellow key. Yes. So on one hand, it's like an, we're doing a spiritual journey for real, like, okay, there's gonna be this one belief system that's just taking us through. But on the other hand, refreshing, you know? It's honestly like, oh hey, Mighty Spider, let me just kill these dudes and I'm gonna see what the hell you actually wrote. Well, I mean, it could be, but I think within the story, I mean, I guess within the stories of the modern horrors, it's also like literally the thing. Well, you know what? I've never heard that, so my mistake if it was, but I always liked, when I say Japanese horror, when I say that I like it, I always like it in the sense that taking it as a, just as an unstoppable, like, supernatural force that's not explained. Like, you know, Resident Evil versus Silent Hill, kinda. Resident Evil is, they're both Japanese, of course, but in Resident Evil it's, oh, bioweapon mutations all explained. In Silent Hill, fuck knows what's happening. And that's kind of how I like it as well, the Silent Hill way. I don't know, Hippocat. Well, it's pretty shiny and yellow. And kind of pretty looking, actually. I just realized about the decorations on top there. They're pretty cool. Very square, but you know, I only tangentially, just like... Not tangentially, what's the word for it? I don't know. Like the thing that I told last time, that I said rather, about the even lighting. When everything is rectangular and like 90-degree angles, I'm like, I acknowledge intellectually that it's probably, you know, lazier than making more natural shapes or something for your decorations, but at the same time, like, in my heart, I don't have a problem with it. What doesn't make me happy is these, but now we've been trained with this situation, so let's go trussle some. Okay, and I immediately am just gonna die. Oh no, there's chain gunners. That's why I'm quick saving. Okay, maybe let's deal with those guys first. But yeah, there's something to be said, I think. I was like, I'm reading War and Peace right now. I know, pretentious as hell. Yeah. That's exactly, like, I don't think there are some people who don't give a shit about Doom lore and they like all that stuff because it sounds cool and it's like, oh, metal. And there's people who, I mean, it's kind of maybe an overreach to say that people really care about Doom lore, but I was interested in Doom lore, kind of, and it's just like in Doom, not just for the action and feeling powerful against the demons. I'm into the atmosphere of this, like, sinister hell dimension. And the more they explain it, the more it loses its appeal to me. And in Eternal, they explain the hell out of it. But I'm taking Eternal as like this comic book story almost. I've taken a different framework to look at Doom Eternal than what I'm looking at, like, old Dooms and Doom 3 through, so whatever. Well, Hippocat, because I actually like that kind of literature and I'm enjoying it. But so what's interesting to me is that usually, like, old literature, the way it depicts people, I don't know how truthful it is, but it's very fascinating to compare how people just like feel about life and things in life, and what people like, what people enjoy. And not on the level that, hey, technology has progressed, we've got new things, but you kind of feel like these days everything is a lot more meta, like everything's about something else. Or if that makes any sense, I don't know how to even put it into words, but like, for example, maybe it's just me, but the way I enjoy a lot of food, for example, is like, oh, I'm imagining, I guess, what kind of food, like vegetables or just like more traditional meals. And I was like, oh, I'm imagining a couple centuries ago people eating this and like living in the nature and their whatchamacallit, like estate, and just, you know, old-timey. And so I'm enjoying stuff for its association with things that I have no access to and that are out of my reach completely, or that I'm too lazy to, you know, get out and do, or things like that. And it feels like you read this old literature, and back in the day people just liked stuff because it was tasty and nice and cool. And I feel like there's like a whole layer. There's like reality, and there's us. And in the old days or before, people just perceived it like this, but recently it's just like layers adding on top, and people are looking through all these layers and seeing the layers instead of reality itself, or something like, I don't know, I don't know how to describe this. It's like a pure feeling, but nothing's as clear anymore, or something like that. And so compared, this is literally just a tangent from, hey, is this all metaphorical, or hey, is this literally just like, hey, this belief system is true, there is a spiritual journey that he is undertaking now because all these things exist. And if it's the case, if the latter is the case, then you know what, I appreciate it. Apparently there's secrets that we haven't found. Allegorical, well, I don't remember what word I was thinking about at any point, but I guess allegorical is a word that is relevant to the overall theme that I was talking about. Oh, something happened? Or is it just this thing closing every time? Is there like several line deaths to close this behind me? And here I was thinking that maybe I need to like... Oh yeah, I do need to shoot that thing. Cool. Because the first art did nothing. Also, did I guess I just got really hurt after I took the Berserk. Yeah, I was kind of arrogant, thinking, yeah, I took the Berserk, why am I at 19 health? Maybe he modded the Berserk to not give you any health. But now, oh yeah, I may have taken a shit ton of damage after taking the Berserk. Also, I don't... kind of want to be appalled at classical literature being called Snorfest. I guess maybe War and Peace is like its own thing, and there's different kinds of literature that different people like, even if you like old classical. But I'm enjoying it, and it's literally like it was described in the foreword. It's kind of just like a window into several, I guess once again, layers of like society life back during that time. Oh, nice picture. I'm gonna use this for thumbnails as well. This one has better graphics for thumbnails already. Because this one, I can just extend the white border. Okay, shut the hell up. I can just extend the white border to the sides. It's not like a scanned, like photograph paper, it's like scanned paper. And the main menu title pick is whole size. So that should be useful. Entering, you'll never see the sun again! Okay, what's the commentary on that level? Plane of Existence, Astral, Limbo, Lost Air. Okay, so we're still roughly in the same place. Okay, in the third level, though, there's a different Plane of Existence in there, so when we get to the third level, we'll see what the hell it is. I wonder if this regular zombies do more damage. I feel like my screen got more red than it usually gets being shot by a zombie. I wonder where he got the sprites for everything. I guess it's probably somewhere easily available, unless it's them all, which, you know, always possible. I quite enjoy them. They're like, you know, an alternative set of assets that make the Doom monsters look a little bit less cartoony, just that tiny bit less. Jesus, okay. Then again, we've got green skin chain gunners, so maybe it is not any less cartoony. Jeebus babu boo. Okay, that was... See, that's the kind of ambush that my skill level is right for. was like, oh! And then I figured out the way to escape. The one of two monsters is hiding behind this corner. And I did not even get shot once, but I felt good about it, which doesn't happen when there's like crazy ambushes where by sheer luck you might just like wrangle the crowd and get to a safe spot your first time. Well, this flat, I'm not used to seeing it on the walls, but whatever. Also, this is an interesting thing to think about, for me at least, regarding difficulty, because I don't know if is there a limit to people's skill in Doom, or can anyone improve infinitely, or until, you know, they get as good as the best players out there? Because I don't know if I can improve in Doom, all things considered. I don't know if I can get better, because I'm just not learning anything new when I'm playing these days. But can there be... is it possible to make levels with the difficulty that would be like the right difficulty for me, but also not too easy for people that are just better at Doom, I wonder? Is there some way to make it... I guess it depends on what parts. I think it's like really large numbers of monsters or managing crowds that are just blocking you in a small space. That's often gives me a lot of trouble. So if you don't have that and have other places that difficulty comes from that I can deal with, I guess. ADSS mount. I guess that's the way. So, but yeah, it cannot be subjective. Everyone has different skills, so you can't really fine-tune difficulty like that. That's one of those annoying arguments in favor of difficulty levels, which I normally just don't want to have difficulty selection in a game, but then people go like, make reasonable statements like, oh, but some people are better at other things, and what if they could tune the experience to be like just at the right difficulty for them? And I'm always annoyed because I see the point and I agree with it almost, like in some cases, but also I don't like giving too much ability to just fine-tune every aspect of a game. Like, you know, in some games people praise that, hey, you can separately adjust the difficulty of every aspect of the game and make your perfect experience, but I never make use of that. I guess I don't play many games where those menus kind of exist, but if I did, I wouldn't make use of them either, because I just don't... I want to be given like the challenge that was intended and have to overcome it and not fine-tune. Oh, okay, I'm feeling like this is slightly too easy for me, but this is a bit too hard, so like 98% is where I'm at. Yeah, Blood, shit. No, actually, Blood I couldn't play on highest difficulty because... also, yeah, speaking of flashy golden textures, does this kind of remind you of like the beginnings of Sunlust or something? I played Sunlust only a couple levels, or some levels, like 5 maybe, I don't know. And a long time ago, and I feel like I remember the beginning, the first map being all black and golden. But yeah, the Blood, Mighty Spider, the Blood I hated on the 3rd level of difficulty, on the middle. Because I played the version where the glitch apparently wasn't fixed, where like after loading a save... Okay? Oh, they are above, right. Where apparently like after loading a save or after something, after dying, I don't remember when, but some values get swapped, like mirrored against the middle. So like on the highest difficulty, some values would be like from the lowest difficulty or something. Or that, I don't remember, because I just saw that the middle difficulty is the one that doesn't suffer from anything. Yeah, and that's why I played medium, and I hated it on medium. I guess I played Shadow Warrior on higher. I don't remember what difficulty it had, and whether the top difficulty, like Nightmare, was unfair like Doom, or normal difficulty, and if I played on it. But yeah, Blood, oof, don't remind me. Like, I acknowledge the strength, I acknowledge that some people are just... I don't know, I feel like it's one of those games where you played it as a kid or something, you got used to how it handles and how to do things, and you can enjoy it, but it's not fun for me in that game to learn from scratch like how to handle situations, because they are just too annoying. And like, I see Civi do like these crazy whatchamacallit, the spray can tossing and the secondary fire from the flare gun, and I never even used either of those, and I'm like, I mean, sure, that probably would have helped in a couple situations, but I also just don't want to, like, nothing about that game made me want to learn how to handle it. Okay, this is an interesting situation because there's an archvile. Ah, Jesus, okay. I guess I'll die. I wanted to run around and see if maybe they would start fighting more, but I guess they weren't gonna. Well, because I didn't really see, like, I guess, no, I do have rockets, never mind. I thought I did not have enough rockets for any of that. But I definitely do have enough rockets for an archvile, so let's try to prioritize that. Yeah, exactly. I mean, everyone kind of agrees on that, I think. But some people just, for some reason, are fine dealing with it. Or I was like, nope, I don't want to deal with this, I hate it. Okay, I think all the pinkies are preventing me from engaging with the archvile properly. Sure, makes sense. You know what, I'm not even gonna pick up those armor boni. I'm just gonna go in and go in. I guess maybe it was one of those things that I was promised about Happy compared to Djinn, that there would be more like setup fights and ambushes and shit, because this is again kind of the trial and error sort of gameplay where I don't see anyone winning this on the first try, and that makes me don't like this place. But also I can see some people out there being good enough to win this on the first try, and that separately like angers me. Because about things like this, I just feel like no one should be good enough. No one should justify these kind of situations, combo situations, by being good enough where you can pretend they're alright. It's like, you know, you go on Steam about some game and go like, hey, might be kind of borked in terms of balance, maybe you could fix it, and there's always some asshole being like, oh, I ground my skill for 7 months and I've learned how to deal with every situation in this game, so what, scrub, get good. And I know I kind of like the get good mentality when it's all situational, you know, when you feel like it applies, you like it, because some games you think are designed well, and they're the get good mentality instead of complaining about design. Oh, because you always also think that some people just learn the word game design and think, you know, if I'm gonna mention the game design here, or the level design or something, or the balance or something, that it legitimates their complaints that are born from just sucking at whatever game it is they're talking about. But I guess that interpretation always just depends on whether you agree with them or not, because very often I'm like, okay, this was badly designed. Like, for example, in Wolfenstein The New Order, I really hate the shrapnel shotgun guys, and I feel like they are badly designed. But some people probably handle them perfectly, and they would tell me to get good and feel completely justified in doing so, without any like mockery, but genuinely just, you know, there is a way to deal with them. But I have not found a way. I've played the game through twice and I have not found a way to deal with them, you know? And that kind of stuff, so it always makes me annoyed that it is possible to be good at. Because, like, literally, how do you... There's some pinkies and revenants and the mancubus and an archvile. Is there really a, like, humanly skill that would allow you to just gaze at the arena and immediately know exactly where to move and how to handle it? I guess it could be just that much experience with Doom where you start feeling it kind of subconsciously how to handle almost any situation. I can actually believe that, you know? Because it's an obvious thing where if you do something so much, you just burn it into your mind on the level of like instincts and reflexes. I don't know what this did, stepping on all these. And instead of just like thinking logically or analyzing your approach or anything like that, I like all the multicolored art in here. By art I mean that sprite. You just kind of get immediately sense where to go and how to handle. You're just like, okay, columns there, enemies there. This enemy... What's the word? not make up. Make up is a different thing. Composition, also not the word I was thinking of, but closer to it. Yeah, immediately just like get a brain feel for how to handle. I guess if I was playing Doom every level, and I mean everyday difficult levels, maybe I would eventually develop the same level of skill. It reminds me of how War and Peace describes Kutuzov. Because actually, despite me being like, you know what, it's not boring at all, and I'm enjoying War and Peace, but also there is a lot of kind of, I don't want to say preachy, but Tolstoy seems to hold certain beliefs that I disagree with about just life in general, and he inserts them quite a lot. Like, he seems to be slightly anti-science, or seemed, and is more into like just the chaotic force of the will of the masses, and how apparently he always, like, when there's any deliberation about historical events, he always goes on about how not one person actually determined how the things went. It's just the combination of everything ever and every person's actions. So no historical figure was actually more important than anyone else, because it's everyone's actions that collectively led to everything that happens. And I'm like, okay, I see on a kind of like a debate level how you make that point, but it doesn't actually make any sense when you think about it, because like a big commander, big important commander, if we are using super layman's terms, can tell like a dozen thousands people to move that way, and the enemy is there and they win. Or he can tell 15,000 people to move a different way, enemy is not there, we lose the war. And no matter, like, oh, and he was going on like, you know, every one of those soldiers decided, you know what, I'm fine killing my fellow human beings, and I'm gonna do it. And they could have decided not to kill their fellow human beings, and the war wouldn't happen. Stuff like that, and like everyone's responsible. Like bullshit. Absolutely one person can just alter the course of history. Now I wonder if I would have actually caught that, because I am really thick-skulled and things like that. But the foreword that I read in the first tome straight up mentioned that, and that's why I picked up on it, maybe. Like, Tolstoy straight up just believed that everything in the world and the history could only be explained by like this chaotic natural force of the peoples. You know what, I feel like there was some stimpaks somewhere that I could maybe take. Yeah. And also up there where the armor bonus I were. And yeah, he's like, oh, you can't know with knowledge. Knowledge and science is just pretending to know and convincing yourself that you know, but in reality, no. And so when he describes Kutuzov, which, if you don't know, is the... I don't actually know how to translate into English, like the commander. The big grand army general of the whole Russian army back when we were fighting Napoleon, and then he just kind of died in the winter. I mean, not he, but his army lost in the winter. After burning Moscow and everything. But the point is that he was obviously positioned as the man who understands how things go, and there are all these other generals that are like trying to make plans, and he always, like, I guess maybe it's true to reality. In that time stereotypes are based on something always, but it's like always the Germans there that try to make science out of war, and just like put themselves into a loop of, hey, I distill the theory of combat into this rule set, and if we're trying to follow the rule set and we lose, that only means we followed it badly. If we're trying to follow it and win, it means the rule set is proven to be correct, you know? And that's the picture he paints of like many German generals and stuff like that, war tacticians, whatever we call them. And Kutuzov is just, he described them as just like, you know, he doesn't know nothing, he doesn't have his own agenda, he just kind of goes with the flow. He can just feel it, man. And he doesn't let bad things happen and tries to make good things happen, man. Dude, bro. I was reading, I was like, okay, you know what? I acknowledge that this is a classic work of literature, but I feel like it's only classic because it's big and it's old. And back then, you know, when classics are picked in the early days of art, before you've got enough competition. That's probably a really stupid thing to say, but that's how I feel often. Need a yellow card. Okay. Well, I mean, the strategic genius obviously was, you know, actually he was pictured as lamenting the fact that they were retreating like constantly, but the whole like you could argue that apparently some people like historians, he is describing how like French historians try to make Napoleon look smarter about everything. They present everything one way. And Russian historians presented that our army was making a five-head maneuver by just luring everyone, just like constantly retreating instead of taking combat, and luring the French army into the depths of Russia and letting them burn Moscow just so they don't have time to escape in the winter and whatever, and they are trapped. And okay, so stepping on this probably lowers those barriers that I saw in that one spot. And I forget how he said the French historians that try to glorify Napoleon have justified him following us. Oh, I guess maybe there was more than one left. But also, that's, like, you know, that part is definitely true, that like you can know some things that happened in history, but there's always gonna be, that's a good point that he makes in there, that's there's always gonna be invisible things happening that influence the course of events that you just can't know about, and all historical accounts are limited perspective and limited agenda. Oi. Okay, that's not a secret, that's just a misaligned texture. That's kind of depressing to think about, that like most of the history we know, it's probably told by people completely exaggerating. Well, I mean, a lot of it is based on, you know, findings, but then again, after you find the findings, you just make a lot of logical leaps. But a lot of accounts, a lot of written accounts, probably are just bullshit, just total bullshit. And I guess probably everyone understands that, and we just don't got no better alternatives. And that's all without even going into the whole like, hey, what do they teach in history classes in this country or in that country? Why don't they teach this unseemly aspect, unsightly aspect of your country's history in your country, huh? Why do they teach history in your country such that you think it's way better than it actually is? And then you go into the global arena of thought that is the internet, and you're like, what the fuck? Why does everyone hate me? No, I'm not describing real events. Oh shit. Well, I don't like this. I think I'll exit the level. Yes, okay. Woo! I thought I was gonna die. So what was that red thing? I don't actually like that I exit that level. I'm gonna make a separate save, and I'm gonna see how far back this save is. I'm gonna see, I think, yeah, it's after this, so it's not that far. Oh wait, that's this behaves differently. It's a temporary thing. Oh, does it lower that thing temporarily? Well, you know, I wouldn't put it past him, but I think mine is that I was just okay. Yeah, I thought this was where I needed to go to progress, but I guess it's just secret. But it's a plasma gun, so it's a good secret. Plasma gun in exchange for most of my health. Ooh. Oh, did this? Ah, I see now. Very nice. So these were all, I didn't think there was that many of them in the level, but sure. I don't think this is ancient Egypt anymore. We're not in Egypt anymore. This is, we weren't in Egypt for like most of Djinn either. This is astral plane limbo something something. So it just looks, you know, Egyptians stole the design from this one. No, from the astral plane limbo, actually. Well, come to think of it, you know how much death is ingrained into like the whole mythology of ancient Egypt. It would make sense to imagine all sorts of afterlife and like underworlds that look like Egyptian stuff, because they just fucking could have decorated everything after it. Well, I mean, you know, you gotta follow the progress. You don't want to fall behind, no matter what astral plane you are part of. They've got ceiling lights now. They've got technology. Was there a... I guess that was before the Archivalis. I'm unsettled by this wall though still. Oh no, I probably didn't want to pick that up. I guess that wall might be... Maybe it's misaligned because it's under the light. But then again, these aren't. Well, let's waste some rockets. First time I killed them with a single shotty, which I don't want to do again. Okay, yeah. So this is... I didn't think it was a portal. I thought it was like a killer laser beam force field thing. Helpfully labeled exit though. Okay, maybe this opens if I do something somewhere, like shoot at something. I'm gonna start just shooting wildly. Also, have I actually been inside this thing? I guess I have. You know, I think the most annoying part about... Hey, Hazmati. The most annoying part about War and Peace, though... There are two annoying parts. One is Natalia Rostova, I fucking hate her. And the second part is that Pierre, which is one of the, like, mainer characters, just joins the fucking Masons... Not Masons, Freemasons. And that is, like, a big plot point for him, and I'm like, oh, okay, sure. It felt way too specific. I guess it doesn't really mean it's wrong or anything, but it felt like, you know, if you were a book about just normal people, normal life, just in some extraordinary times, but one of them like suddenly finds $1 million and the key to the city of Chicago. I don't know, but just like some incredibly... maybe it wasn't such a improbable thing back in the day, because there was just like apparently a bunch of people were just openly Masons or something. Well, this is Happy, Hazmati. This is a sequel to Djinn. Zolgia seems to be MIA because he hasn't responded to my Doom World message this time, and he's not here so far. But I'm not gonna delay because of that, so I'm just playing Happy. Luckily, he has supplied us, and by us I mean everyone who tries to play. Why was I collecting health? I still die here. He has supplied us with a whole text file of commentary. Limbus Priorum. I guess that face means that's the happy part. So map 3, Limbus Priorum. Yeah, that drawing is pretty something. Difficulty easy medium. So that previous map still was easy. I mean, it kind of, but those archvile ambushers, I don't know. This one is easy medium. Plane of existence, no longer just astral limbo, last layer, but connection between astral plane, limbo first layer, and the abyss. I don't know why it switched from last to first layer, but connection between limbo and abyss. So I think this is, as I said before, this is probably all based on some belief system, tantric, I think, something. I have no idea what it is. I thought it was like a massage, but apparently there's more to it. But maybe there's a belief system about all these astral planes and shit that I don't know about, which I kind of almost would like to know about, if only to give myself context for the VOD. Maybe I'll read up about it on Wikipedia. Also about War and Peace, because, you know, what else would I talk about during a Doom level first playthrough? It was because it just came up as the current book that I'm reading. And I was talking about when I found that this what's like story and Djinn's is not supposed to be just all in your head kind of stuff, or some sort of pure dream or anything like that, but it's supposed to be a literal journey through like things, places, but you know, mythological kind of places. So, and I was like, you know, I kind of appreciate that it's not just all metaphors, and it's just genuinely being, hey, this set of beliefs is true. Now let me make levels based on it. And I was describing how in modern day things just feel always meta and like wrapped around other things and based on other things, and I was bringing up the current book I'm reading just because I read classical literature mainly and about the olden times, and it's always fascinating to see how people think, what people feel back before this, you know, information singularity almost that we've got. I guess I don't have that much health, huh? Yeah, 6. Where we've got so much and our heads are just filled with so many concepts and ideas that don't really, maybe we don't like think about them, but they're all there. Like, you know how many stories from games and movies and stuff are so actually so completely wild, and we just think of them as completely trite, like everything based on like comic books, for example, or everything based on high fantasy, or a lot of things like that. Like back in the day, or even describe that to your like parents or grandparents, and you would, at least when I try to explain, once I tried to explain Bloodborne lore to my father, who is like 80 years old, so, and I felt like, what the fuck am I even talking about? Why am I so into this made up shit that's so like divorced from reality on every level that it shouldn't even matter at all to anyone? Of course, I don't actually think that. I love the crazy mad story concepts, but back in the day, you know, the scary monsters that people could imagine were limited to person with animal head or animal with other animal parts, and they're just kind of like taking everything around them, the world around them, very straightforwardly, and just like, you know, I like this because this is pretty or tasty. I don't like this because it hurts. That's probably really insulting the way I said it, but you know, people weren't dumber. They just didn't have so much bullshit information available at their fingertips and everyone's ideas. Okay, let me... No, there's not much to catch up with. I am interested in history in general, but not to where I'm actually properly like researching it and studying it. I just like getting a feel for how it was to live in specific, like in most periods and places, parts of the world. I just like to get immersed into that, but I don't really care about what, you know, what they usually teach in history with the specific people. I guess I like seeing how specific people could influence the history of the world so much, and like how big historical figures just did stuff that pretty much set the course, but that's like secondary. And as for what my father said about Bloodborne, well, not much, because I did not explain, like, I wasn't trying to explain the whole lore. I was basically just, we were at the summer house, and on my laptop I was playing music randomly, and some Bloodborne music came on, and he was impressed by Ludwig's boss theme. He was like, wow, this is powerful shit. And I tried to explain him Ludwig, which literally just because of what the concept of the music is, but to explain Ludwig I had to pretty much do like a shallow dive into everything that Bloodborne is about, and I felt like an idiot talking about that to him. Also, yeah, he's pretty old. I have a sister from another mother that is like also, I don't actually know her age, but fairly old. Not old, but like, I don't know the proper word, like poжилая? Not poжилая even. Middle-aged, I guess. Middle-aged. I don't really see her much, but like a couple times in recent years. Because I don't like... I actually really don't like extended family members as a concept, because I don't know shit about them. I'm not like living with them, and it feels like us being extended family kind of forces me to spend time with strangers that I don't really care about. I'm really not big on family in general, and I don't like just like socializing with people without my express desire to do so. I guess I'm fine with like random strangers, you know, when you just like it happens sometimes when just some random stranger strikes up conversation about something randomly. It happens very, very rarely, but sometimes it does. Like, oh hi, wow. Oh Jesus. Like once, just like this old guy asked me where a certain subway station was, and it was in the direction that I was going, and so I just kind of like walked with him over there, and we just like chatted about random shit. I don't mind that, honestly, and that's usually because like those people don't know me and they will forget me, so I'm fine with random strangers. But extended family members have the like all the familiarity of strangers, but all the burden of always knowing who I am and remembering everything. Well, not everything, but like I feel like they would remember things about me if I do something embarrassing or something like that. So that's why I don't like distant family members. Okay, I'm sorry I'm reacting really slowly to chat messages, Hazmati, but you know, this intense action, and also I don't really notice when chat moves. Classic literature, honestly, like from whatever period I can get my hands on, but I only read Russian for the most part. I read a couple foreign books, but I just maybe I should read more of them, but the Russian ones are enough for me so far. But like, you know, from the time of the beginning of the written word up until like Soviet era, and at some point you just don't consider them classics anymore because they're too modern for that. But I guess the modernist things that I've read were the sci-fi stories by Strugatsky, which is the ones that, you know, Stalker stuff is based on, for example. I have not read Metro yet. I have... oh no, I have this. I've got the books, or some of the books of Metro, but I have not read them. And I also have some really weird, like, modern book that is probably total shit. But I'm not really looked at it. But mostly anything like in my anything that is in my house. If there's a book in my house that's Russian literature, there's a high chance I will have read it or will read it eventually. Because I'm just going through everything we own slowly. And I decided that it was about time I actually just got around to reading War and Peace, because it sounded fascinating, but I always got interrupted in the beginning by all the like French parts that I had to read the whatchamacallits for, the how you call them, I don't remember. Like the small text beneath the page. But this time I was like, there's no problem to read it. Metro, you know, the games are interesting, but I have no reason to... I mean, there's probably a bunch of differences, but I've got no strong desire to read the books now that I've, you know, played the games and know what happens roughly. But it's also kind of like modern sci-fi. I don't actually genuinely just like Strugatsky's sci-fi for me was kind of like hit and miss. But I don't actually like fantasy or sci-fi in literature. I like them in books, in games. And in books, I pretty much only limit myself to just like historical fiction or just like normal realistic fiction. That is pretty cool, like a little ripple. I don't think they are specifically synchronized that way, but you cannot really tell. I don't know how those work actually. Of course there's an archwell, but at least there's a lot of there's a lot of cover. I'm not gonna like it when those bars open up, am I? Hopefully they don't open up when I kill the last Baron. But what else is gonna trigger them? Maybe I need to press some button. But I kinda hope to maybe do some damage to him. Oh, I'm out of bullets. I don't think I'll be able to do any damage to him through those bars! Yeah, that's the War and Peace setting. And there we go. I don't really have a lot of understanding of, like, a lot of the books I've read, I don't actually know what even century they are set in. But I like that whole serfdom, reading about like the nobility and their estates and their relationships and all the like socializing in the cities and all the visits and stuff in the country and hunting trips and shitty drama. Some reason it's enjoyable to me. I like that vibe. It's kind of a shame that all the stories always star those people and not the like peasants. Then again, I feel kind of guilty thinking of, but how interesting could it be if it was about a peasant? You know, like, what do they concern? What their lives were probably pretty simple. They had to concern themselves with, you know, farming and surviving. But that means like a humongous ignorance from a... Okay, hi. Okay, he did that. Oh, hey. I have ignored him, and now I will die. No, I'm going to the abyss. Yeah, and I mean... Honestly... Black light, let's read about it. Hard, easy, that's interesting. Length, medium. Plane of existence, abyss. Snail... Oh wait, I didn't read about the previous map. There was some passage after the plane of existence. Limbus Purorum is the place where unbaptized dead children go before committing any sins, because they still can't understand sin. Representing Snail's new state of newborn, his mandatory resurrection, and the first encounter with his split half. Is his split half gonna be this cacodemon thing? Ah. The black light, which is this map. Difficulty hard, easy, length medium. Plane of existence, abyss. Snail fell deep down, but it's all part of the plan. We need to dig and eat our bowels if we want to know ourselves. So I guess it's one of them belief systems, mythology is this whole tantrum thing that is just already inherently based on deep dives and self-analysis. So everything that's based on it and that makes everything true about what the belief system ascertains. It's always just gonna be, always gonna look like, oh, it's all psychological metaphors. I don't know, Money Spider. I have no idea what his sim sounds like. I only know oh, I guess I did kill one of them. I was like, wait, did I kill the Cyber Demon, or did he just kind of die on his own? Let's get him mad, if we can. Oh, he didn't give a shit. He got firebolt but did not care. Shh. Can you not? That was pretty dumb of me to continue shooting him there, because he was angry at the nymph. But it worked out. Oh, the cyber demons took notice, taken notice. Shit! I need to actually see him. Okay, he is shooting the floor. Can he not walk down? I guess he is too fat to walk down the stairs. No offense to fat people, but in Doom you all are incapable of walking downstairs. Ugh! So there may be an angle at which... You know what? I don't got no cells left. And rockets are kind of a shame to use against him. But at the same time, I've got many. And the original game did intend you to beat the Cyber Demon with rockets, so why not? Jesus. Right. At the edge he still can shoot from anywhere. Okay, you are not welcome. Also, I kind of want to play Serious Sam soon, because I guess it's not recently, but... Oh shit, that guy, right. But like last... or this year, or some months ago, several times, I just keep like having dreams about mildly fictional Serious Sam games. And it put me really into the mood to play some Serious Sam again. It's kind of like a mix of all the new ones, in that the engine and everything is like in the new ones, but the setting is always, hey, he traveled in the past, the ruins of this civilization that is kind of portrayed in a less realistic way, in a more like slightly magical way or advanced or something, like in the old Serious Sams. I remember there's like big Egyptian temple with a big pool of water, and we were collecting coins for some reason, like Mario. Which I guess none of that happens, so if I play Serious Sams, I'm not gonna get that experience. Why am I killing a Cyber Demon with a single shotgun? There we go. Way better idea. Okay, where is that motherfucker? Okay, too far for me to rely on auto-aim. Well, let's go. I'm gonna find myself at the exact height of that guy. Okay. I like the look of this cavern. I cannot tell if the ceiling is supposed to be a solid ceiling or not, but I like that I think he either made some light sectors or he alternated between two different texture versions. I feel like it's the same texture, only darker and brighter. I guess it's just like it's light around the platforms, so it's maybe not even intentional the way that I'm thinking about it. But I like how it makes like a texture, a larger kind of, not a pattern, but just like a difference in the walls. So it's not just one plane. And there it's probably caused by the fake contrast on that thing. Yeah, but the light level... I wonder if I can get in there. Also, nice health. The light level varies along the wall, so it makes it look better. Oh hey, this is not instant death, but probably... Okay, cool. Anyway, can I... Maybe I could if I diagonal run. I don't like diagonal running to get secrets, but... It's not a secret. Never mind, I guess it was just where the pain elemental was sitting. I'm not sure where they get teleported to. Also, am I running on Doom Strict or not? Oh. No, default, so they shouldn't have lost soul limits. I think I'm gonna ignore this guy. Oh hi, I'm floating through space. I'm gonna fight it. I'm gonna float backwards. Screw you. Nah, I cannot. Okay, well, there's a pain elemental somewhere. And that Baron that I have left alone. No, these imps and that motherfucker. Several of them, actually. Well, let them come. This guy is apparently important enough to be in the title screen and in the menu and everywhere. So he must have some significance. And according to Zolga, what I remember him saying, he might be one of the few, or maybe even the only custom enemy in this world compared to Djinn, which had many. Okay, so I don't know the structure of the level actually. I guess I'm collecting keys still. Whoa. When I did this turn, I just had like this giant brain malfunction where I was like, what? Wait, what is reality? Oh boy. Yay. Time to be ergonomical. Though I wonder if in such a crowd the super shotgun it actually does more. I think it does, yes. You can tell I'm not that experienced at Doom despite everything. Ah! Please don't be a one-time thing. Very nice. Where the hell did everyone go? I feel like there's a crowd of people in here. Maybe they're gonna be released later. Yeah. It's not that the imps went into that little secret thing and just got stuck there. Hey! I know you. Oof. Oh, Jesus. Okay, then. I'm very happy that I'm very happy that I managed to escape that. It was not too late. Okay. You know what? You guys are annoying me right now. Ah, that's not gonna fall into the floor, okay. I'm gonna deal with these imps so I can cheese shit from this position. Hopefully I did not waste too many rockets on that. Okay. I see how it is. Why is my explosion like pink flesh colored? You know what I could do? I could do this. Woo! That's a very ill-advised move. No, no, no. Okay, I might as well, now that I've lured them back. And I don't have to fight from the staircase. You know, handling this amount of Hell Knights with a rocket launcher, it's a different level of Doom. Which I also appreciate. It's no longer the every enemy stands. I guess you don't think that every enemy stands for very long after you've familiarize yourself with Doom in general, but like there can be a tense low enemy count kind of combat, obviously, and there can be this, and there could be slaughter WODs, and it's all different levels of how you think about Doom. And this is, I like some of them, probably not all of them, but at some point you just transition into this mode and you accept, okay, that's how it's gonna be. Okay, can I just get... Ah. I want to get on that ledge. Yes. Oh, rip-off. I thought it was a secret here. Oh yeah, the weapon sprites are kind of recolorized. I never even noticed. Well, maybe it's not as pretty as the enemy sprites reskins, but... Also, what the hell did I gain out of this? Yabba dabba doo. I disagree with that whole scenario. Fuck me, and I'm here now. Well, I'm not gonna run on top of him now, because I know how much health that takes. But I disagree with that ambush. 2 archers in front and just like blocked off on every side by revenants? How about get fucked? If you make stuff like that, you're my enemy. Oh shit. Ideological enemy, that is, not literal. I will never agree with the sort of Doom gameplay where you just get fucked up like that and then have to figure out how the hell to survive. And granted, like, literally the second attempt may be the successful one, but it's still, to me, it's way less fun than levels that just keep you going without trial and error. But I've never counted, but if I had counted, I would have lost count a long time ago about how many times I've expressed my preference, so you know what. Okay, I was gonna kind of try to cheese it, but I want to see how feasible it is. Okay, so you can kind of... Oh, fuck off. You have all the time to escape, but there's no way for you to expect that. Oh. Well, that's lame. All that for a health bonus. Oh. Maybe not. So, however, things like that kind of ambush is all okay. I'm gonna fight you, ideologically. Well, yeah, that's a big old trope in Doom level design. It's a secret, so it's fine. Not level guidance, it's a secret guidance. I'm fairly sure this is all a secret. Well, arrows as level guidance, you won't talk about that, you talk about downtown from Doom 2. I mean, that's a stupid idea, like, all secrets, all good secrets are indicated with something, like a different texture, all that kind of stuff. Of course it's a secret. Couldn't have not noticed the arrow or realized what it means or anything like that. There's many ways in which that's a secret. What the hell kind of logic is that? Not really, you got to see the arrow, and you didn't know what it was leading to. You know, it's not more obvious than just a big old patch of different texture on the wall. Okay. Okay, so this did open in the end. Because I was thinking, what the hell was up with this little gap here? Nah, there is some different textures things and a lot of secret, whatchamacallit, indicators that are pretty much couldn't be anything but a secret. But again, the arrow, the point of the arrow as a secret is that you could have missed it, or you could not have figured out that it leads to that lift thing. Because the first time down there, I did not notice that there was some sort of lift that went down. And I just assumed it was the armor bonus and the teleport out. So you know what? I'm calling bullshit. Just seeing this arrow alone is not enough. And you know, seeing the arrow by itself could have been... I only saw it on my... What number passed through here? Ah. Hey. Okay, I'm guessing the two keys are it because of the whole symmetry thing. Oh, I thought someone was dying. I guess that's their mating call. Also, there are these cells that I did not pick up. And also that plasma gun over there. Now, how do I get in there? There's that whole thing there on the map that I don't know what it is and where it goes from and to. Maybe one of these cubby holes where the pen elementals were was a secret after all. Or it's the thing. Okay, it might be just the platform here. Or it could be just armor. Hmm. Okay, I think I lured one of those guys down there into the abyss. Hmm. I feel like I don't want to bother with them. Wow! It might not be worth it for the extra cells that I will have the time to look for. Oh my god. No, maybe I should bother with them because there's that whole place. Look! 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 Dude, that is dumb. Not every time that someone doesn't agree with you, it's them being contrarian. Have you ever considered that maybe you're making a bad point? That's really dumb. That reminds me of that time there was in the GTA stream of Hugo 1 where someone brought up, hey, this YouTuber made a video about the theories about what was removed from GTA 3 because of 9/11. And Hugo said, you know, the developers spoke out about that a long time ago and they said exactly what was removed. And the guy was like, yes, but this YouTuber says the theories are. And he was like, every time Hugo was like, there's no discussion on this, the developers themselves have said. But the YouTuber was like, I mean, the viewer that was talking about the YouTuber, he kept going like, oh, you're just not in a chill mood today. No, I don't want to like, I'm not angry at you, Hugo. I don't want to argue with you, but, and stuff. But he was like, dude, there's nothing to argue here. You're just wrong. Not every idea is equal. So, if someone disagrees with you, doesn't mean they're contrarian. Maybe you're just wrong. Okay, that elevator. Maybe that's the key. Or maybe it's just the Baron doing it. I'm gonna go kill the Baron first to eliminate any possibilities of that. No, I don't think there's any elevator to be triggered by him. I wonder if this teleport is monster compatible. Would he follow me? Something in there, for sure. You see that giant staircase of weirdness. Maybe it's another elevator down in the harm water. I didn't see a platform in there. Maybe this guy was triggering an elevator. Maybe not. Dude, you don't have a point there. An arrow is an indicator there is something in that direction. You have to see the arrow first. Oh, there's another arrow here. See, like, how much have I walked here and I have not noticed this arrow in the first place? The fact that the arrow is more straightforward than the other indicators, in your opinion, doesn't mean it's less hidden. Because there's a point, again, it's the matter of spotting the arrow in the first place. And then there's a matter of actually seeing what the hell it indicates in that direction. Because that could be not obvious. And a lot of other styles of secret indicators in Doom are equally obvious. Especially in the original Dooms, because sometimes the wall textures and such just do not get used for decorations. And then you see a difference, and it could be nothing else. It could not be a decoration, because it never is. Dude. You can't make just a blanket statement that you can easily spot any arrow ever. If it was easy to spot, it would have just jumped into my vision the first time I was in that room. Just stop. Just stop while you're ahead. Well, congratulations, I didn't. because I'm the one actually playing. You do know that when you're watching someone playing, you see way more than the person playing because you can see the whole screen and you don't have tunnel vision because you are not the one who is like under attack. Also, you actually have to take her word that you saw it immediately. Uh-oh. Whomst? Whom have you muted, timed out? I feel like you misfired there. Well, I mean, fair enough. He was probably gonna say the same shit. Ah, but freedom of speech. Where did I save last, I wonder? Oh, boy. I'm gonna waste all my ammo in that place. Oh well. Okay, how's about I try to make them infight or something? This is a blatant act of censorship. But in a way, you saved Kazmati from further embarrassing himself by just arguing about something inane, refusing to accept that his point was bad. So it was a mercy. Damn, this secret is kind of questionably worth visiting. I'm gonna waste all my ammunition in there. Am I gonna get, what, like a couple cells? Thanks but no thanks? No, I'm still gonna have to beat it because now I'm committed, but still. Yeah, fair enough. What if he suddenly arrived? You can never, you know, discount the possibility of it. Okay, now I need to take care of that asshole. I knew it. I was asking for that to happen pretty much. Sergeant. Also, this arrow isn't actually pointing directly at the teleport. Well, I guess that's not the important point because it's pointing in general direction. Okay, get in here. Jesus Christ, these PEs are annoying. Oh my god, fuck off. It's a very one-sided discussion, Hazumati. You're just continuing to reiterate a point that no one agrees with, or at least, you know, Hippocate or I don't seem to agree with, at least. I should find that. Oh, that's gonna be hard as fuck to find that. But it's surprisingly reminiscent of that point where someone was talking about YouTubers' fan theories about GTA versus the streamer talking about the developer's word on it. And every time the streamer went, dude, there is nothing. The developers have spoken out about it. He was like, no, but why are you being contrary? You're not in a very chill mood today. I don't wanna argue with you, but consider this. And stuff like that. Basically, really weird. Like, I guess it's a preconception where you have a bad point, but you think it's a really good point that needs addressing. And everything just because you originally thought it was level progress indication and not a secret. Okay, how did I die up there? I'm gonna die anyway because I have nothing. Yeah, Hippocamp can mute me in my own stream. Well, I don't think it's about disagreeing. It's more about that it was pointless and annoying him. I mean, I wouldn't, if I was a mod, I wouldn't have timed it out, in that kind of situation, but I don't think there was any fruitful discussion going on there, and it was kind of annoying, but whatever. Hippocamp is just being Hippocamp, going on a power trip. Hippocamp, I think you should speedrun GTA less, or whatever the hell you're speedrunning recently, because you're being a negative Nancy. What happened to the Hippocamp that liked everything? Man, this half of the secret is way worse than the other half. Another one there? Okay, sure. Yeah, I don't really got the tools to do anything about this, but I'm gonna save at least. Fuck off! How do you put like 1,000 pain elementals and no ammo in a secret of all things? And this fucking staircase in the end. I'm sorry, but I disagree with this section. I guess it's getting on the harder side for me already. That's what. Oh my god, that guy up there is gonna. Oh. I guess it's time to turn on mouse look, because without mouse look, it's complete bullshit. I just don't remember where's it. Gameplay, or is it mouse options? Probably yes. Always mouse look on. I'm not willing to deal with this crap without mouse look. This level of verticality with chain gunners can fuck right off. Honestly, this staircase can just fuck right off in general. The Revenant as well. What's the point of wasting all this ammo? Well, I better get something really good out of this. Like an amazing amount of ammo. Yeah, well, you know, most Doom levels are designed in a way where it's completely acceptable. And I kind of like the added... It's kind of... I've talked about it before. It kind of, in a way, emulates low accuracy on weapons in the sense that you need to get close enough to be able to hit some stuff. Like if your weapon had a spread or something. Well, this is a pointless ledge. And I like that aspect where there's people too far away that you need to hide from until you get close enough that you can aim at them finally. Nah, I can't decide what to step on. Okay, well, that was entirely pointless. Maybe not. Huh. I was in one of these before. Interesting. Okay, that's just the exit from the secret. What's the point of that? I'm not sure. But yeah, normally, but in the levels where you have that much verticality and those circumstances, you gotta, you know, spirit your beliefs and convictions and just enable mouse look. Because this place is not well designed for Doom without mouse look whatsoever. And yes, my reward was literally 80 cells, which is more than I wasted by far. This secret was terrible. This secret, I hate this secret. I lost way more in it than I gained, and I don't think I could have done much better. I could have lost a bit less, but I don't think there's a way to go into the secret and come out with a net, you know, gain of resources. Ugh. Well, you know, if they're far enough. What's annoying to me is when it aims just low enough to hit something, like when that Revenant, when I had 11 health, and I died from splash damage because I was too close, and the rocket just hit the ledge when it could have been shot like a little bit higher. Okay, now I really don't have the ammo to deal with this shit. But I guess I don't have to deal with this shit that much. Kinda want these rockets at least. How about the chain gunner in there? Can you all just fuck off right now? I'm exiting. Oh, I guess I'm not exiting yet. No, I'm exiting, okay. I'm beginning to really disagree with some of the balance decisions. And this is only level, what, 4? Yes. The Defilers. Ah, yes, this is Defilesome. Difficulty rough. Boss map, very short. Playing Resistance Abyss. Yeah, well, actually, I kind of wish he was here because I would have questions. I have questions to ask, like, what the hell were you thinking kind of questions. Hey, there's a dude here? Once again, just like in that Undertale themed map, the weird geometry on the floor makes it... How did I run out of shells? Okay. The weird geometry makes it kind of a pain to navigate here because of that stupid little basin thing in the middle. Jesus, okay. Get me some of these medkits that still exist, hopefully. No. How about you don't do that? Fuck off with that. I hate when there's so many enemies that they just block your way. And it's not a situation where you can deal with them, you know, gradually. This is not the kind of Doom gameplay that I enjoy whatsoever. To be fair, it is marked as rough, but, you know, yeesh. There's rough and then there's stupid. Why do you select the plasma gun all of a sudden? I guess better for close quarters, but still. What the fuck does so much damage there? This is that guy. Amusingly enough, that thing is not really a big factor in this. Oh, fuck off. Jeez. Okay, hopefully that guy won't just teleport in my face before I kill most of the enemies here. Okay, that guy can fuck off. And now that guy can also fuck off. There. Now it should be more manageable. That guy by himself should be fine. What the hell? Oh. The Might Magic Light Elemental. On the red. But you know, when it's a separate map that starts immediately with this, and it's not an ambush of some sort, it's fine to me. It's not my favorite type of gameplay, but it's fine. I have a problem when it's like halfway through a map, and this kind of shit is sprung on you from opening a door or something. Because I am just ideologically opposed to maps that you would not feasibly be able to beat on the first try. Maybe this guy is too buff. Oh, Jesus. Tracking. I'm gonna brave it. I wonder how he teleports. Probably randomly, but how does he pick the location? Because it's kind of rough in Doom, at least that I've found, to like make it so people don't teleport into outside of the sectors and stuff. Oh wow, from somewhere I have all rockets again. How did I get full rockets? But yeah, fuck that green armor. Green armor is useless anyway. Okay, well, I mean, boss map is a boss map, that's fine. Yeah, there's the Hexen Orb again. Give me the Hexen Orb! No, I'm dead. Forever, thank you. Oh, apparently I reloaded there. I probably should have waited for it to load the next level. Right, okay. No, don't press use. Just wait. Die once more. So it's episode 2 now. The snail is pale, an empty shell, longing for doubts, his dreams were his damnation. Worms, please, whispering trees, flooded tunnels and hidden masks, wrinkled hands, caressing, scratching, brightened shields, blackened swords, drowning in the bowels of the underground lake. I feel every time one of these kinds of poems comes up, I feel like I want to just take my time to reread it slowly and try to like absorb the imagery. Okay, that's enough absorbing. So, episode 2 done. Let me confirm. Yes. When Snail had to choose whether to climb up or jump down, he decided to jump down. Death stole his eyes and hid them in the bowels of the world. Well, that sounds a bit like Bloodborne. There we get the poem again and the explanation for it. Da'ath means knowledge in ancient Hebrew, and it's the 11th invisible Sephirah in the Tree of Life. See, there's that fucking mythology that I don't know anything about, and I wish I cared about it because it would have made this way more interesting. Because I could understand the symbolism. Yes, there we go. And the metaphors probably better. I don't know. He's Italian, but I guess that doesn't mean anything. So it's the Tree of Life. I won't start my ramblings about Jewish mysticism now. I'll limit myself by saying that it fell down, I guess it fell down, after the original sin, and the abyss known as Masak Mavdil took its place. What fell down? The Tree of Knowledge, right? Tree of Life, rather. Da'ath and Knowledge, and it's the land that's I don't know what the hell Sephirah is, but Sephirah. Maybe it was the theme of Sephirah, not Sephiroth playing one. What was it, the previous map? I think it was the previous map. No, the one before the boss map. Some members of I limit myself by saying that it fell down after original sin, and the abyss, known as Masak Mavdil, took its place. Episode number 2 is the exploration of said abyss, and thus the exploration of our fears shrouded in darkness. There's that element again, like... Do you take everything literally in ancient mythology? If I'm understanding this the author's note correctly, is the Tree of Life fell down after the original sin. And so literally the space where it used to be is the abyss. And I always take it when old mythology always said everything literal. I don't buy it like the also like biblical studies where they try to interpret everything in a way that still fits with our ideas about the world. But I feel like in the mythology it was more or less all literal, but they just had more like metaphysical views of the world where it was not so solid like physical reality as much as they thought way more was possible. And so way more like magic and everything was kind of malleable in terms of their understanding of what was possible and not possible. But how does exploring the physical space of the abyss where the tree of life fell down from, how does that equate apparently to the exploration of our fears shrouded in darkness? Because that sounds like one of them notes on the book on the margin where it's like, okay, we know that this place doesn't exist. Now we are sure that this tree and this abyss don't exist. So it actually meant not the like literal abyss, but it meant exploring our fear. No, I mean, not exploring, because exploring is what happens in this world specifically, but the abyss actually means our fears or something. Like, you know how hell used to be like, oh, literally this fire pit or something. Now, no, hell is actually the, I guess, I don't actually know, maybe it was always the absence of God and nothing more. But at some point, somewhere, people thought that it was a real, just like fire and brimstone physical place somewhere down underground. I don't know if that was the original belief or if that was like a medieval temporary belief. And that kind of my point depends on that. So I guess it could be not a good illustration to my point, that particular instance. But you probably know what I mean. And if I'm not talking completely out of my ass, it should be fairly obvious. The whole business of like reinterpreting religious texts to make them into more of a metaphor for stuff. Was my pistol always fast? I've never used it in this WOD. Well, anyway. Oh, Jesus. I don't want to be there without a shotgun, but I think now I'm fucked. Hey, Doom, standard Doom textures. Well, recognizable ones. Let me in. I want a shotgun. Actually, didn't I kill one of them? I feel like I did. I guess I wasted the shells. Or used the shells wisely. Stop. Okay. They actually kind of blend in. Yeah, this shit's going lower. Mark my words. Ah, Jesus Christ. No! Okay, there's some shit's happening down there, but I'm gonna just ignore it. Because fuck them. I don't want to deal with, like, fucking revenants or whatever was in there. Something's in here. Some emitting light. Yeah. I mentioned that also before. Like, a lot of these monsters are risking to be slightly more, like, serious than Doom. But then the chain gunner has green skin or something. I don't remember. What's casting this blue light? I feel like it would be a couple health potions. Oh, hey. Or a whole ass health sphere. I'll take it. Okay, now give me the official shotgun, actually. I wonder if I can lure him. Asshole. Come here. Yes. I have 23 shells, it's not very much. Dick. Get in here. Yes. Masterful playing. The best part, I might not even have to go back there into all that shit. I kinda want to, because there's probably items. I'm gonna save and see. Disturbing on the surreal level. Interesting. I thought they were just like more realistic-ish zombies, which is a weird thing to say, but you know what I mean. It's like have actual gore on them, and not just healthy-looking pink skin motherfuckers with green hair. Just die. Just die. There we go. I feel like I shot him way more than I should. And the mancubus is just like an S&M mother. With chains, and it looks like he came out straight out of whatchamacallit, the Hellraiser. Well, I mean that seems like it's just regular old like zombie graphics. I don't mean Doom zombie graphics, but like overall zombies are always drawn with like parts missing and being weird. That is pretty nightmarish, but we are so jaded by now that it doesn't faze us. Okay, let's see if this was worth it at all. Oh, there's a bone. Now I can sell it and lose some reputation. There's a Doom guy. Feels like the sprite didn't quite fit this sector, and so he had to raise the ceiling a little bit and make a puddle down there as well. Well, I mean, yeah. Watch this erupt into another argument that Hypocrite has to time someone out. No, I agree. I'm gonna check a look at the shotgunner, the next one, when I see him, and see if I have actually such a feeling, because I'm very desensitized to weird imagery. From like grotesque body horror imagery. Or just that kind of thing where, you know, it's like human but with a weird feature about them. I wonder if this is a secret. This could be just a decoration. This is not very obvious at all. It was a secret. What are the odds? It was not very clearly marked. Thank God I somehow stumbled upon it. To be honest, kind of wasted that health, but at least I can now punch this guy. Poor Hell Knights didn't even get a respread, just a different death animation. Okay, who must be there? Is it a shotgunner that I can look at and marvel? No, it's a chain gun. See, chain gunner is even more cartoony because he has green now. Green zombies are cartoony, but maybe shotgunners. I just kill them because I fear them. But because of the gameplay, not because of how they look. You all viewers have... Why, thank you, Asmati. It took immense mental focus and just luck to find that. I cannot believe I found that clearly barely marked secret. I guess now... No, that was not the texture. In here it's this texture, but that's the whole section of the wall, so it's not a secret. The imps are definitely edgier, literally. Okay, I see multiple. I guess there's just like part of the head is blown off or something. I can't really watch. I guess you know what I can do? Yeah, that's pretty something, though it is diminished by everyone looking the same, like every shotgunner looking like this. Kinda reminds me of some of the Doom 3 zombie variations. You know, the ones with the missing jaw or missing head. Ah, I haven't got the chain gun yet, right. But here it is. Normal zombie men look like their mouths are kind of grown shut a little bit, like in the Matrix. There was some like that in the Matrix, right? Honestly, there's so many of them that I would rather they infault a little bit, but... Yeah. It's probably not very easy to make happen here. I hate how the projectile enemies are smart enough not to shoot through each other. I forget in Quake, I'm playing Quake a lot at work these days, but I forget actually if they also don't shoot through... What the fuck was that damage? I forget if they don't shoot through each other in that game as well, or if they're dumber. Because I feel like it's easier to do in fighting in Quake. But maybe it's because a lot of the enemies have such sweeping fucking attacks that it just hits everyone nearby. I'm playing the... Still playing Arcane Dimensions, but I'm playing the Chaos mode, where you play the base game's levels with randomized enemies, which is really fun. Sometimes, usually it's like the first tech-based levels of each episode that really suck. Because you've got so many little zombie enemies, and some of them get replaced with really spongy, high-level enemies. And you just straight up don't got the ammo to deal with that kind of bullshit. Or just some fucking bunch of poisonous enemies, or a couple of medkits get replaced by spawns, which explode in your face, and it all adds up. But as soon as you get into the real game, the real levels... I never liked the tech-based levels in Quake 1 anyway, and that certainly isn't helping. But still. I found my... I keep forgetting everything about episode 3. And it's like, whoa, these levels are cool. But now I'm replaying episode 4, and finally I'm seeing why some people think it's like a rushed kind of thing. Because a bunch of the levels in episode 4 are just like, hey, this is a network of corridors, 90 degrees, have fun. I don't even mind the spawns by themselves, but just like the layouts of the episode 4 levels are kind of bleh. Okay, if you all are gonna teleport here, I'm gonna be sitting here and waiting for you. Oh, my mouse just wouldn't move there for a sec. Man, you know what? I kind of lost the opportunity earlier when I brought up Bloodborne because of explaining Bloodborne briefly to my father. But because John Wolf is playing Bloodborne and I'm watching him because he's one of my favorite YouTube Let's Players, and I've been I had my love for Bloodborne reignited. But I guess there's not really a reason to talk about Bloodborne lore. Oh yeah, Doom 3 Zombies. I remember back in the day when it was new to me. I think the beginning, where everything was dark and there was a bunch of zombies everywhere, was the spookiest part. Literally just like those beginning sections where you have to fight a bunch of zombies in dark rooms and alternate between flashlight and something different. That was like the tensest. But Doom 3 actually, like, when you're bad enough at it, it does a good job of maintaining the tension throughout the whole game. But at the same time, it's also pretty easy if you know your way around most of the enemies. I'm just gonna pretend there's no secrets or anything. Actually, I found all the secrets, so you know what? I'm not gonna deal with those fuckers. Fuck him. Play once more. I did read right about this. Ah, yes. Well, okay, these are all just abyss, 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 and abyss. I don't know why I manually saved there. Okay, so this is I am one. I guess that's relevant to Snail's whole thing where he's trying to not be split into two personalities anymore or something. But to be honest, the whole idea of a literal split personality has always been kind of on the verge of fantastic and like exaggerated by fiction where it doesn't actually happen. Like, I guess it happens literally the way you see it in fiction, but for some reason it always felt kind of like implausible to me that it actually really literally happens like that, where you've got two people kind of in your head in a way. Well, not literally, but you know, you shift between like two consciousnesses or something, or at the same time. I don't know how it works, but oh boy. So having a story, it's like, you know, I keep coming back to Silent Hill, and I will keep coming back to Silent Hill every time, but you know, when you got a story that, okay, spoiler for Silent Hill 2, James actually, like, his wife was terminally ill, and he was, despite all his love for her, it really took it all on him to keep like looking after her in the hospital and living with her being deathly sick forever. So he just like eventually smarted her with a pillow, you know. And the subtleties of the what the fuck of the horrors and the monster designs and everything is based on that, and his guilt and everything. But if Silent Hill was based on, hey, the main character just has a split personality and there's two of them, that would be kind of, I don't know, low-hanging fruit in a way or something, or just cheesy. I don't know. It's a real thing as far as I know, but it just doesn't feel like it's a real thing. It feels like it's weird fiction and misconception about mental illness. But it's probably literally just like a real thing, as far as I know. Because I remember reading about it and being surprised, what, this is actually real? This is not just like a made-up bullshit by people who don't understand psychology. Because you know how in a lot of shows and movies with like a big bad serial killer or something, they're always really weird and just fucked up on many levels. But you watch true crime stuff and like serial killers are normal people who no one would even guess, or a lot of them at least. And they just like behave like absolutely normal people, but also they just want to kill someone. And so like these really quirky like psychos from fiction are kind of made up most of the time. Some of them are like that, I guess, but still. And I always feel like a little split personality is just fantastic sounding enough that it could be one of those things where it's made up and the points don't matter. Ah, well, okay. Hopefully, you know, if you've turned it back on, I'm not talking about it anymore. I forgot that you were going to play them. I should have like a... I should have been doing the spoiler hands again. But yeah, hopefully I was quick enough and you didn't catch any actual spoilers of Silent Hill 2. Ah. Yeah, Silent Hill 2 is the best Silent Hill 2 game. You are right. Oh shit. It's good. I'm thinking of how to say what I think without spoiling anything. Because there is two types of Silent Hill stories alternating between games. There's a type of the story, like in the first game, about the cult. I'm not gonna say anything more than the cult. But it's less about like characters' personal things and psychology, and it's about the cult literally being the cult. And there's stories that are more like standalone, and Silent Hill 2 is a perfect kind of standalone, not about the cult story. Hopefully that was not something that, you know, would have meant a lot to discover on your own, but I don't think just the cult and not the cult is a big deal. That's a lot of bloom. I almost don't know if I should keep bloom on, but that kind of makes a fascinating visual, so I'm gonna keep it for now. Honestly, I like all of them. Like the first 4 Silent Hills. When I say all of them, I mean the first 4. Actually, like, honestly, the first 3 are the real Silent Hills. Then the 4th one was, ooh, I don't actually know, Hazmati. I have not heard about them. I don't remember. I played 2 or 3 and 4 using some old SPC ports because they had re-releases, and those are terrible. So if you have, I think the normal ports are completely functional. So you have access to the old PC ports of Silent Hills. And a PlayStation emulator for the first one if you want. Because I honestly think the first one is a really good horror game as well. It's not really like troubled by its age any more than any of the later ones. Because it's got the same camera style, the same kind of clunky ass movement. That works to make combat like just not worth it a lot of the time. And stuff like that. So I don't know, but just make sure to do your research and find out if the patch like ruins anything, because there's the official HD re-release of 2 and 3, and it really fucked up everything. Like visuals everywhere just were completely fucked in an unforgivable way. But ay. Oh no. Jesus Christ, okay. Again, just locking you in a way that you don't immediately know what's gonna be there and how to escape. Big no for me. But again, I guess... Oh wow, I didn't have any health apparently. I guess you could have theoretically escaped that if you started killing the imps or something. Didn't have the rocket launcher on you. Honestly, having the rocket launcher out in such a tight spot was kind of dumb in the first place, but still. Okay, where was the backpack I wanted? Actually, I already have it. But yeah, so the first two Silent Hills are the real ones. Then the fourth one, I think, started development as a different game, but they just kind of like attached it to Silent Hill and tied up the lore to Silent Hill a little bit and made it a Silent Hill game. And it works well, but it's pretty different from the others. And I think it's a really cool game, but it's kind of weird in some places, like it just doesn't seem as coherent at telling a Silent Hill style story at first, because it's like... It's almost, in spots it feels like a kind of like a fan game based on Silent Hill that just they forgot to add the story to or something, but there is like a full story to it. It's just its own little brand of thing. And then subsequent games are like all American made. Origins and Homecoming and Downpour, or you know, at least Western made, not Japan. And they are all different types of crap. And then you have Shattered Memories, which is also Western made. What the fuck? Cacodemon, okay. But it's like a reimagining of Silent Hill 1, but with completely different concept of the story. And I really think that's it's not a good Silent Hill game, but it's a good game kind of on its own. It just doesn't play like Silent Hill, but it really benefits from the connection to Silent Hill 1 and everything you know from it. Like the characters and the story overall and the concepts. Okay, see you. Okay, I don't want to deal with that bullshit before I make the central space safe for me. Oh, the Arachnoid just wandered off somewhere. There we go. No. Oh no, there it is. Okay, now we can save. I'm gonna go... I'm gonna go here first because I think there's a berserk in here. I guess if you keep fighting the imps here, berserk is shit there. Kinda shit. Because it does have the kill rate that you would need. But also there's just revenants here, just like willy-nilly. And I guess if you stay here and try to fight and the Hell Knight comes in, and you can just like circle around this thing. But unless you know what's coming, I imagine you're gonna want to escape the room like I did. And then you get stuck in that little tunnel. Nah, I'm not about this. Not about this life. It's kind of a shame that for a lot of Doom mapping, this kind of like unfair ambush style thing that I've always rallied against, not really rallied, but always expressed my distaste to. And like here you can escape fine, and you don't get blocked with stupid shit. But yeah, it's a shame that in many ways, for many people, this is like the way that difficulty is achieved in Doom, is that you just have to deal with this sudden thing that happens and you don't know what's gonna happen. But it's so sudden and so difficult that, you know, without knowing ahead of time, you either have to be a instinctual Doom god or luck out or do trial and error. What the f... Okay. I nearly killed myself with a rocket there, but I guess I telefragged a bunch of people. I don't want to rely on trying to telefrag him as well. But yeah, so basically the main takeaway for Zolge, if you get around to watching this later in the VOD or something, I really like the presentation is definitely matured, and the combat setups definitely are also more like thought out. But I really don't, I just like in general, and this VOD is no exception, I really despise just like sudden situations where you have to immediately just know how to escape and survive. It's like ambushes and traps and stuff that there's... Because, you know, in some games there's only so many ways things can go. But in Doom, literally, you never know ahead of time. Even if you know the author and their, like, approach, you never know where exactly shit's gonna happen. Where someone's gonna just teleport in. So you don't know, even when, you know, the first monsters of an ambush start appearing, you have no way of knowing where it's gonna be safe and where it's not gonna be safe. And I will fight you if you try to claim that it's all like, all of these kinds of ambushes are always perfectly reactable to, and it's like, always give you enough time to figure things out as things keep changing and altering. Like, in the beginning, on the first little bit of information that you get, you make the first judgment. And if the judgment leads you to get trapped by the further stuff that happens, like with the Hell Knight here that traps you, that's frankly a matter of chance as far as I'm concerned. Which to me is pretty crap, because I maintain that even if you get like quick saves in the game, it's not an excuse to make a game like this. Then again, I mean, some games can be outward just like blatantly, bluntly trial and error based, like Dark Souls. You are supposed to go slowly figure out how to dodge bosses' attacks and stuff. Okay, this texture is like Super Silent Hill 1 and 3. Like a otherworld version of the normal cement thing from Doom. But yeah, I've never taken Doom as kind of game like Dark Souls, where I guess because it's not written into the mechanics. Like, your death is just final, you just lose and have to reload. That's why I've never taken Doom as a kind of game where you're meant to be just like, okay, I've died here, now let's see if I can try again and beat it this time. Like old NES games, for example, which had lives and continues and such. Doom seems like the kind of game to me where I expect just the difficulty to be on a level where you can first try everything if you're good enough. And by good enough, I consider myself good enough for that kind of difficulty, but the issue of course arises, like, where do you draw the line of good enough? I would claim that it just like... Jesus shit. That was probably bad on my part, but still, like, paying attention and focusing on things that are happening and seeing things that are happening. Basically not being a streamer. How the typical streamers play, like, oh, let's read the chat, let's just not notice something blatantly in front of us. And of course I do that too, but still. But of course people have played Doom. You know, I've not actually been playing Doom the whole time since it was released or anything. And I have not been playing custom levels for very long overall, or very much rather. I guess very long, but technically not so much that, you know, the density of me playing Doom levels, Doom custom levels, is low. So I really don't have that experience that drives people to start making crazy shit because normal shit just doesn't cut it anymore in terms of difficulty. And I feel like if you have achieved that level where you're dissatisfied with normal difficulty and you have to have crazy challenges, if like, fine, you can do it, but just don't be a trendsetter, please, and don't like contribute to it being the normal state of things. Because if you do, I hate you. But I guess there's no avoiding it, because everyone, if they keep playing, they grow in skill. Maybe it's just like a pitfall of such an old game, and modding scene for it inevitably is gonna, like Mario levels, go either Troll or Kaizo, and Doom levels go into like fucking crazy trial and error bullshit most of the time. And I wish there was a widely understood way to make Doom challenging. I guess just because it seems like a lot of people considering like a high octane fast gameplay action, because they didn't start playing on the SNES like I did. But the whole like attrition, scraping for ammo, survival horror aspect just is not considered normal for Doom. Because that would be my way, but I've mentioned it before many times that I would rather play like a resource starvation, survive in this maze environment, try to find the way while like endless monsters were you not having enough ammo and stuff. Can you fuck off with this shit? Why do you keep doing this? This is bad. This is not good. Well, I mean, maybe a lot of people probably like this kind of bullshit, but to me this is just bad. That kind of shit. Or like, okay, half of this room is just gonna close, the other half is gonna be all revenants, like a wall of revenants. Have fun. I'd rather play like labyrinthine maps with where every couple enemies can be dangerous on their own, and you don't have enough ammo to just blindly fire rockets into crowds. And every rocket has a treasure. I guess it's not really even close to how the original game played, but neither is this. Despite popular belief, until Plutonia, there was not a lot of like crowds or anything. There was only like 2 crowds in Doom 2 ever. I guess it's not a literal wall of revenants, but it's not any better than a literal wall of revenants. I should try to kill everyone here before I advance and trigger the whole ambush. Gosh, shit, I just forgot about it. Can you die already? There we go. Let's get them in fighting or something. Ah. Nice, I probably had 69 health there for a sec. I'm assuming that's why Hippocate would ever say nice. Ah, or that as well. Well, I knew that like half a day ago, so old news, but yeah, I'm looking forward to that. Though I'll have to watch it in post because it's way too early for me. But also, Mint's like 2.0 version debut is gonna be like at 3 AM or some shit. So maybe I am just gonna stay awake tonight. And after Mint's done, might just go and watch Coco, or might go to sleep. We'll see how it goes. Anyway, can I climb this? Oh yes. Very nice. It really is kind of a marvel how much better it looks overall, like consistently good. Where Djinn had some low points, and just overall the quality and the detail was just, it felt a bit less overall. Though in a way, to me it's kind of, when it becomes rich enough, you just kind of get numb to it. So I feel like the imagery in Djinn, despite being more primitive looking, just kind of worked better for me because... ah, shit. Because it was kind of simpler in a way or something, I don't know. And in here it's just like pretty abstract shapes. Have fun. And then Djinn was like, oh, that shape there is cool. Oh, there he is. Oh no, that's not a column. Shit. Well, I'm in a bind, but I apparently went into space. I don't want the invisibility. Please don't make me pick it up. There's some shits going on. You know what, I'm gonna save. Fuck it. I didn't really want to go into the secret whatsoever, but I didn't do it intentionally. I was... For some reason I always default to trying to make everyone kill each other, but... Honestly, I just want to get out of here. Please, just let me go. I don't want to deal with this shit. I guess I have enough cells for that stuff, but... Still, what's up with these seekers that make you waste... Column, of course. Make you waste like 1,000 times more than you get out of them. And feature really annoying setups. At least the walls here are not solid, so that, like, when he shoots outside... Fuck! I guess they're also weird shapes, so I got stuck on that one. But at least I don't get splash damage from him hitting the walls outside, because there are no walls outside, okay. Just saves coming now. You know, when your levels make me resort to saving after every encounter, that's when you've lost me. Overall. I prefer to play levels with more reasonable difficulty, but without saving. Because as I usually describe it, it's like a kind of more of an endurance thing, where, you know, a culmination of small mistakes does you in. And not just like, hey, I didn't know what to do here ahead of time, guess I'm dead. Guess I'm dead. Right, I have invisibility, that's why it's such a pain. Might as well do this instead. And I generally always prefer difficulty where there's a lot of small mistakes you can make, instead of like, make one mistake, you're dead. So like, rompy platformers instead of precision platformers. Like a long Mario level with no power-ups, rather than some fucking Celeste or, I don't know, Meat Boy stuff. I guess Meat Boy levels are short enough, but still. That kind of stuff is just not fun for me. I prefer stuff that gives you room before you die. It lets you make some mistakes and then grow from them as you're playing, and not just like over retries upon retries. I'm just gonna walk around this thing. And not be impatient. These platforms are kind of throwing me off as well a little bit. Stepping on and off them. Eek. Finally, this shitty invisibility is gone. Now it's not a stupid situation, but it's like kind of repetitive and predictable. Which is still better than stupid. Of course I had to kill him. What if I came here without enough ammo? What? That was not a secret. Ah, that was not even a secret. Wow. So once again, just like in the middle of a fight, a teleport that you suddenly mistakenly step into and you just progress without wanting to. And then you don't have a way to go back. That's a big pet peeve of mine, is not being able to go back in levels. Because the author insists on like teleporting into places without giving you a teleport back. I just kind of hate that in general, but you know. I guess it's fine. That whatever was happening in the main room, I didn't want to have any part of it. Okay, what's this? I guess it's yeah, I got to remember there's not much really comments about this. There's some worrying comments about future levels in that file. Yeah, I actually kind of want to see what like difficulty stuff is about this level. Which one is it? Be reborn. Easy, length, medium. Okay. The previous level was difficulty medium, so this could be... I don't know how accurate it is, but this could be slightly better. I guess I've got random health out of somewhere, but I didn't really want to go into that room in the middle of everyone here. Okay, should be fine now. Never gonna pick you up. Never gonna... Well, there is not anything else to say. Never gonna pick up that berserk. What if it releases the revenants? I have had enough punching revenants, thank you very much. That's a cool texture, I wonder where it came from. Yeah. I wonder what's up with Zolgir. Hopefully he isn't dead. Because I wanna just have a talk with him about ambushes. And pen elementals. I guess I don't really mind pen elementals as much as some people do. But still. You better give me enough ammo if you can give me... I guess also when they have a low cell limit it's fine. But I'm not playing on Doom Strict, so they don't. Man, it feels like heresy just aiming with auto-aim. I mean, with the thing opposite of auto-aim, manually. Man, I ate all those medkits when I'm pretty sure I didn't need them, but whatever. Also, those revenants keep looking like weirdly lanky big shotgun guys to me because of the colors. And it's kind of amusing. Oh shit. I guess not. Okay, that's cool, but I'm guessing somewhere is gonna happen. Oh, I could have just leaped out, okay, yeah. There was a bit of a fence missing there. Okay. Imagine how funny it would be if that pedestal with the key was just impassable and you literally couldn't make the jump. Of course there's an archvile. Why wouldn't there be an archvile? Ah! Oh god, and I didn't save after this. Well, it's not... Oh shit. Never mind. I was gonna say not that difficult of a room. Unless you do that kind of stuff. It's, you know... You think, when you look at other people doing stuff, that everyone always operates all the time on the level of like logical thinking about everything they do and every move. But when I'm playing, at least, I have just realized now that I'm going just purely on instinct. I know, like, shooting rockets, monsters die. And it so rarely happens that I do that kind of thing where, like, shoot a rocket there and then just like forget about it and run into near where it hits the monster. So I don't have the instinct to like avoid that specific type of situation at the moment, or steal, or yet, or whatever you want to say. So, and I just don't, like, with every rocket I shoot, I don't think about, I don't calculate everything that's going to happen because of that. Maybe some people do, maybe some people work like that, but I'm just like, you know, whatever seems right to do based on the previous experiences of shooting monsters until they die. That's what I'm doing, and I don't account for everything that happens. Because it barely ever happens, and my brain is not trained to predict those specific scenarios. It's kind of fascinating to think about when you think about it. Too bad I won't still be able to adopt that understanding that probably other people operate like that as well, and that I shouldn't be just like annoyed with people by not understanding something in the game, like if they're unfamiliar with the genre. And playing what seems like a really stupid way. Like Ame, recently I watched her play Donkey Kong Country for a bit, and it was painful. Because she was just walking, she had no concept of running or anything. But then again, she's like mostly like puzzle games, which she's not very good at, but she apparently likes them, and FPSs and stuff like that. Sure. Platformers might just not have been her genre at all. Just like Ina with FPSs after she was playing Half-Life. And we're used to thinking that, hey, we understand all the sensibilities of this genre and how what's gonna happen, how you should act. But you know, someone from the outside, it's like elders react, elders play GTA 5 kind of thing, where it's just a completely different mindset and what to expect. And the worst part about it is that a lot of people have picked up on the trend of talking about accessibility, and now they want every game to teach everyone every like sensibility of its genre, without, instead of assuming that people will play probably going to be somewhat familiar with it, which is fair enough. Every game can be someone's first game of that genre, but that doesn't mean every game should have every tutorial possible about like, hey, if you jump on a ledge, you can like get on it, and that's how you reach high places. Or hey, if you lose your health, you will die. I guess some games just like say that randomly, but not all, and not all should. Just because some guy makes videos about his girlfriend playing like Breath of the Wild for the first time, and the girlfriend is just not grasping anything, doesn't mean that Breath of the Wild should be teaching like kindergarten baby level of how to approach video games in general. You know what? I'm gonna go back on my principle. Didn't even release the Revenants. Maybe the Revenants are all up here or something. What even was this place? Ah, whatever. That was very risky of me shooting down there like that, but whatever. Oh, now they're here. Oh. I heard them, but I guess I didn't hear them quick enough. But still, fuck you for this shit. This was a milder one, more forgivable one. Because I feel like there was a chance, but still, this is not the... I mean, for very many people this is probably fun, but... So I guess I shouldn't be, but, like, I cannot fathom what kind of masochist you have to be to find, like, enjoyment in being fucked like that, and then having to replay while knowing ahead of time how you're gonna get fucked. And like, I don't think you can just convince me. Not that anyone should care to convince me, but it's like, if I was to hypothetically get into an argument with someone, I don't think there's anything they could possibly say to oh hey, Alien vs Predator 2 textures looks like. I don't think there's any way I can be convinced that this is like, just like, acceptable design for games that do not set out to be trial and error at their core. Just because safe scamming is possible doesn't mean it should be actively encouraged or required by the gameplay, but that's just my opinion. I know Hazmati likes to defend Half-Life, but I feel like Half-Life might be one of the worst offenders in that kind of... on hard at the very least, where... like, hey, if you don't save scam in Half-Life, you just don't survive. Though it is also possible that it's just like I'm having an off day or something, and on some further day, when I play Sim this next time, I'm just gonna have a different mood slightly. Because honestly, I was like 1%, not 1%, one half, kind of one part annoyed that Zolga wasn't around and responding, and one part I just wanted to play different games, but since I'm playing Doom on Saturdays now apparently, I really didn't have much choice. Because I didn't want to skip. But I kind of want to play... Now, the annoying part is that I think I'm gonna start Sayuri route on the DLC soon. So I don't have a space for the third game yet. Maybe after I finish it. But I'm just gonna go through this again. Yeah, because I feel I didn't really grasp a lot. Okay. But I wanted to play another game. Just randomly. I wanted to play Dreadout. Which is like a... I think it's a Korean game. It's like a Silent Hill Resident Evil style survival horror, apparently. And just like Haiti, it's another game that I learned about from Giant Bomb Quick Look before Giant Bomb went to complete shit. Which, for me, I stopped caring when Drew left. Even though at the time I was not even, like, I didn't care much for Drew. I just liked watching. I didn't recognize a lot of people. But a lot of Giant Bomb that I've watched have been like archives of old stuff. And I've realized that without Drew, it's just not as fun anymore. Even if there was a lot of stuff that didn't have him, like a lot of quick looks didn't have him, and they were still fun, but just the fact that he left just made me kind of indifferent to Giant Bomb after I learned. I feel like in here... Ow, shut the fuck up. I feel like in here is probably like the exit is available already, but... For once I want to just kill everyone. Okay, I don't want to use like all my rockets. I've got excess ammo for everything else, for normal weapons, but... At the same time I don't really want to deal with the... with these guys. With weaker weapons, but I guess it should be fine. Outside of crowds. I've cleared the place out a little bit, so it should be better. Oh! Nice. And I think we've just got a couple of those guys left now. I hate whatever I got stuck on there. I hate it. That thing is now my enemy. Whatever it was, the piece of geometry I got stuck on there. Okay, no, I'm just gonna use everything but rockets. I guess now I should use rockets to clear out the initial density. But at the same time, what if I once again just like run around with the SSG against the specters? Oh boy, this is the bad place. It doesn't have more exits. Whee! I squeeze through. And get them fighting each other for a bit. And we'll see how it works out. It really works out for me, but I really like doing it for some reason every time. I want to get more of those to kill more of others, but they are all in annoying positions. Woo! Okay. Slightly didn't like picking up that ammo box there, but it was inevitable. Come on, do the whoa! There we go. Wow, he rips through them. Ooh, he rips through the Hell Knights. Quite crazy, like. Oh, well. Shit. Okay. It's just me, or does this look like just hospital walls purely because they're white? And there's like bones and ancient stones and stuff. Where is the blue guy? Motherfucker! Spectre! Who invited you? Okay, fine. It's time to fight. Openly. I think I actually have to kill all the blue guys here. For the exit to lower or to open, in whichever way it's gonna open. But I better not get stuck on some dumb shit again. That's it? No? Another one somewhere. Oh. Ah, yeah. Ah, yeah. Motherfucker. Okay, well, that kind of demands a quick save there, so what now? I did... No, there's someone still. But they might be outside. Okay, there's more to press, I suppose. Oh no, he's gonna resurrect everyone. They're gonna resurrect everyone. Well, now is a good time to bring out actually plasma. Actually rockets. Rockets are just more fun to toss into a crowd. Oh no, that guy. You shouldn't be able to resurrect that guy. That's busted. I guess they're not actually that meaty, but still. No. They've got like the small kicked puppy pain sound though. But also, yeah, man, specters and pinkies, the most unfortunate enemy, because they started off like when you're really young or really new to Doom, they can be slightly scary in the beginning, but they quickly become just like this pathetic but pretty much designed or used specifically to get in the way and be a nuisance kind of monster, and it's just not a role you'd want. Okay, I think I'm fine next thing. To be reborn. Finished. City of Solitude. Hard and long. You know what? If it says it's hard and long, I'm gonna stop here. Not the longest stream, but I'm satisfied right now. Because I don't want to stop in the middle of a map, and when, you know, compared to previous map, easy and medium difficulty, this one is advertised as being difficult and being long, so I don't really want to get into it right now when I'm just on the verge of being a bit tired of it already. It's no help point, that's sure, in terms of how long I can play without any rest, because you know, this kind of brand of Doom difficulty levels get on my nerves a little bit under my skin, so it's kind of draining. But at the same time, you know, I don't like the overall so far, like the first impression is that it's one of those situations where the improvement might be considered like objective improvement over Djinn, but it's one of those things where like you could feel the soul and the heart in the kind of slightly in places like greenness of the design of the first one, and here it feels more professional and polished. But with that, it kind of loses some of the impression that it makes on me. That's usually how it goes with me. Like, janky stuff or stuff that is flawed, for some reason, just impresses me more. And impresses not in a way that, like, oh, I'm impressed, but in a way that it gives me a stronger impression. You know, it's a different thing. Usually gives me a stronger impression than just, like, polished things. Because this, while having really interesting visuals overall, I just don't feel inclined to just like look at stuff. Maybe that's because of the gameplay being different. To be honest, it could very well be because of the gameplay being different, or the visuals could be just different compared to Djinn, on the level of concept, not on the level of execution. But in Djinn, I felt like looking at stuff and just like going observing the levels. But in here, I guess it's just because it's like consistently interesting, and it's like, when it doesn't have highs and lows in terms of how interesting it looks, you quickly just adapt to it. And it's kind of like, you know, in music, when notes are, you think of them as like so many steps lower or higher than the previous note, and you remember melodies that way. And that's kind of, I don't know why I brought that up, but basically, if I were to theorize based on nothing, I would say that for something to stand out, it needs to stand out, which is a really obvious thing to say, but like when you've got consistently interesting, you immediately, like, subconsciously, you raise to that standard, and now you need something to be like exceptionally more interesting to actually notice it. But when it's I guess not interesting, but it's like high quality or something, or I don't know what to say, because I don't want to imply that Djinn was like usually not interesting and then there were interesting spots, because that's not true. But something about it is just like the overall level, the density maybe, or something. It's like pain medication, you know, when your body gets used to it and you need stronger stuff. You start needing stronger stuff. Or I guess drugs, just literally drugs. But I think it's that, because when something's flawed, the good parts stand out more. Or when it's not like consistently barraging you with the same average level of goodness. Like in here, like every direction you look is well made, but nothing is much more well made than the surrounding parts. And so it just doesn't leave an impression, because you quickly adapt to like expectations. Your expectations quickly rise to the level of what you're doing. what you're playing in this case. But a lot of people don't like periods of lows, you know, just like less action or more plain environments. And a lot of people actually are into this level of like constant barrage of impressions. So I don't know. But that's I kind of over exaggerated the overall opinion, because it's not like, oh, amazing. But it is more consistent and consistently higher average level of production than Djinn. And in that it becomes just like, you know, flatter overall impression. That's all I can say now. It's fun though, because it's Doom, you know, Doom is fun, and the fights are made with more thought behind them than Djinn. So the challenge, you know, but it really often sips into being like the bullshit ambush kind of challenge. But you know what? Maybe I just need a shift in perspective. Like gradually I will adapt to the thinking where, okay, I'm saving anyway, so who cares about if an ambush is bullshit? It's fun to like try it again and again. And I genuinely have a lot of fun trying difficult fights over and over until I figure out the approach, like where to stay, where to run, like where to try to corral monsters to, who to kill first. It's just, for some reason, I never expected the first time. I never go into a Doom level or WOD with that mindset. I always need to be like beaten into playing like that. And maybe I just didn't, like it barely managed to shift me into that by the end of today's stream. But I'm ending anyway, so just like didn't mean to imply anything bad about the WOD at any point. Just like my subjective tastes, and some things that it does goes contrary to my subjective tastes. But also, you know, everyone's opinion is subjective, and mine specifically here is affected by many factors that might have made me like unduly unfit for this particular style of gameplay at this particular moment. Like literally just random aspects of my mood can just shift what I am enjoying or not, so whatever. So I don't want this to have like an overall negative impression whatsoever, because it's really enjoyable. It's just like some parts go like, oh fuck, this was unfair, but like maybe it's not even supposed to be fair. So yeah, what was the last thing that I was kind of negative on? The ending of Not Scare Out and the DLC, but I stand by that. That was that whole thing with the endings. I stand by that. I'm gonna publish those videos any day now. But yeah, that's a good WOD overall. And I would say it's still probably better than, like, to me, I'm gonna guess that a lot of the CAC Award winning WODs from last CAC Awards, this was probably still better than most of them, because just the visual style, looking at them, they are way like less my cup of tea than Happy. I'm gonna try some of them, maybe not on stream. Anyway, that's enough rambling. I don't know if I'm gonna stream tomorrow, to be honest. If I will, it'll be Hellpoint. If I won't, well, see you when I next see you.